Hello guys, my name is David Fields and you've tuned in to Field Skills. Today our video is the first in a series that we're doing dealing with our core needs and priorities in a survival situation. And this video is going to be about controlling our body's core temperature, which is number 2 priority or need that we need to take care of in the woods. And we're going to do this as part of our shelter series because we're going to build an emergency shelter today using this military poncho. If you watch my survival kit series, one of the first ones I did, I talked about I like to carry a military poncho with me in my bag. It's a multi-function, multi-use thing. If it's raining, I've got rain gear to put on. If I'm out in the woods hunting or hiking or whatever. A nice, easy rain protection here. But these military ponchos have grommet holes here, and at each corner they have snaps, and they can make an emergency shelter very quickly. And that's what we're going to do today, show you how to set up a shelter in about less than 2 minutes. So stay tuned, and we'll put this poncho shelter up in just a second. Okay guys, first thing we want to talk about in putting our shelter up is one of the items of our 5 C's that we should have with us at all times, and it's the 5th C, it's cordage. And we select those 5 C's because the 5 C's, just as a reminder, are a cutting tool, a cover element, which our poncho is part of that cover element. We need a combustion device, a ferrule rod, which I have on my little Mora knife right here on me at all times, some way to start a fire. Through that we need a container to be able to boil water and purify our water. And the number 5 item of the 5 C's of survivability is cordage. So these I carry with me some paracord and some bank line. You can use either one to put your shelter up with. I like to put together, this is a 25-foot hank of paracord. I carry some 10-foots and some 25-foots with me, usually about 100-foot in total. If I need 100-foot, I can tie them together and make one long 100-foot piece, but 25-foot sections will do what we're going to do today, one 25-foot section. And what we need to do is show you a few knots. And the first knot that we need, and you can put this knot in the end of your hank of rope, and let me get closer to the camera here, is we want to do what is called a bowline. We want to make a firm loop at the one end of this piece of paracord here. So what we do is create our loop coming around the front, and the first thing we want to do is come around here, come up through the back, up through the hole, if you will, come down, come around the tree, this part right here, and go back down the hole. And then we take this little small loop right over here and pull that tight, and that creates our bowline, which is a loop that won't pull that way. It's not a slip knot, it's a firm knot to make a loop around the tree, and we're going to use that to stretch our ridge line for the pole. So there are a lot of videos out there showing various knots, but a bowline or any type of firm loop on the end is what you need to be able and learn to tie and create. So alright guys, what I've done is I've selected a tree here and a tree over there, and this is where we're going to stretch our ridge line between the two. And how we're going to do that is we're going to take our bow line that we created right here and come around the tree about waist high and just run the remainder of our cord through that so that we create a loop around that tree right there. And if I step around here, you can see I can pull that tight and it's going to cinch up against that tree there. And then I'm going to go over and cinch it to the other side. So okay, very quickly, I just wanted to show you, see how that bowline loop is in, and it is pulled tight there, about waist height is where I set it. And so you can just see a close-up of that. Okay, what we're going to do, we have tied to our line over there with the bow line that way to that tree over there, and we've stretched our ridge line across here. And we're going to bring it around this second tree, which is going to be the other pole to support our ridge line here, and come around the back and just drop our line down through here. So we're coming around where we can pull. Now we want to keep this very tight, good tension on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right in here, pull this up, and we're going to create a simple inline loop. And as you can see, I've just pinched a loop together. I'm going to come over and up through, and I have created a knot, an inline loop that won't go either way, and that's what we're going to pull against. So as you can see, we've come around the tree here. We're going to come to that loop we created right here. Feed the line up through it and pull it all through. Now we have something to pull against there, as you can see, and I'm pulling that up good and tight. And then what I do is I take these two here, the main line coming around the tree, the second where it comes around the tree right here, it goes through the loop, and the third part of that line is what is the tail of it. I pull it tight and I pinch all three of those together. What I'm going to do is come up here with a loop, make a twist in it, go over the top and grab the tail and pull it up good and tight there, and that locks in that, and that's what we call a trucker's hitch. It's in there and locked in good and tight, but I've got flex on here now where I can feed this in and out. We're going to show you in just a second why we do that and use that trucker's hitch, but we've got good tension on our line, and now let's make our put our tarp on. So let me change the camera angle and we'll do that in just a second. Alright, I've got my poncho. Let me just show you right there at the hood. So this is the way I would wear it across through here. But what I want to do is these ends are longer. So I'm going to stretch this poncho out this way across my tarp. And what I need is just a simple stick here. And I reached and just snapped off a stick, and what I'm going to do here is that loop from our trucker's hitch, and I'm going to run that right through that grommet and put just a toggle limb in there, and then I can pull this tight. Now I'm locked in there at that end. So then we can just stretch this out. Okay, another knot I want to show you is a Pricing knot. And what we'll do here to make this knot is just take a piece, and I always carry a little bank line with me, and I've just cut off a little short piece, maybe a foot long through that, and I'm just going to take it here and just tie me off a knot so that I have a loop right there. Good tense loop. And what we're going to do to make this prusik knot, we're going to lay this loop over it, and we're going to run the tail piece through one time, come over, loop it back through a second time, come over and run it through a third time and pull that tight. And as you can see, that makes a locking knot. And I can pull it this way when the tension is on it, it locks in place. And that's what, but when I remove tension, I can slide the knot anywhere I want. When I put tension on it, it won't go anywhere. And what we do then with that prusik knot is take the other end of our tarp and we'll feed that loop through it just like that. And let's find us another little piece of stick. All we need is a little toggle that we pull through there, and we pull that tight. And now our tarp, our poncho, has become rigid in there, and it's locked into place. Alright, you can see now we've got our tarp laid up right here, and what we're going to do is stake it down at the back. And of course you can go out and cut some limbs and make your stakes, but if you've got it in your kit, you might as well just put you some stakes in. These little aluminum stainless steel stakes, it's really what they are, don't weigh anything, and I can carry 2 or 3 of those in, and I've got what I need to stake it down 3 times at the back. So let me just show you that real quick, and you can watch from there. We pull this back down, pull it in, and we stake it there. Pull this in, over, stake down there, come back here into the middle, and now we can adjust this. This one needs to come out a little more, so very simple, easy to do, and can be done very fast. And what I think I'll do is take it down, start the camera, and just show you how fast we can put this shelter up. Alright guys, I've got my poncho. Maybe I was wearing it, maybe it was in my bag. I've got my ridge line, which is the 25-foot hank of paracord. I just leave that bowline loop tied in it, so it's already there. I've got a little piece of bank line to make my prusik knot, and I've got my 3 stakes. All of this could be in my bag. I could be wearing it, have it in a pocket, but I've got shelter. And we're fixing to start the clock and see how fast I can get this shelter put up. So, on your mark, get set, start the clock. Boom. We'll have to see how much time that took in just a minute, but that's a quick and easy, down and dirty emergency shelter. Okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video on shelter building, an emergency shelter, having this military poncho with you and some cordage, and you can have a shelter up. And don't know yet what the time is. We will show it, but I would dare say it's right at the 2-minute mark or less. We had this shelter up, but very easy to do, and I hope you've learned something from this. Don't know where we'll go, what we'll shoot next time, but we're going to be shooting videos based on our needs and priorities series, whether it's cooking, catching food for our sustenance, maybe collecting and purifying our water, fire building. All of those type things are going in this overall category of our survival needs and priorities. So I hope you'll tune in next time for that. As we end every video, I use the quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, where Emerson said, "Life is not a destination, life is a journey. So come and join us as we journey to self-reliance here in the great outdoors." I'm David Fields, and you've been watching Field Skills.